There you go. All right. Bad news is we have no spark.
Welcome back to AutoTech Trevor.
I think he meant AutoTechNick, but today, Trevor, what are we going to do to the Chevelle?
We're going to try and get it running.
We're going to see if this thing will run and start after sitting for 24 years. All right, Trevor, so here's the rundown. This thing's been sitting for 24 years. We don't know why the car was parked. Now, do you know the things that an engine needs in order for it to run?
A battery. The battery doohickey that makes it work.
It does need those. It needs three things. It needs air, fuel, and spark. So today what we're going to focus on is we're going to pull out the spark plugs. We're going to take a peek at them and see what they look like. We do know that when we got the car, the ignition coil is completely unhooked, so I need to go ahead and get that addressed. And also, for some reason, they have the fuel hose off of the fuel pump, which is actually good because this fuel tank is surely full of rust, so we're not going to even use that or worry about it. Can you guess what I'm going to have you do if we're going to inspect the ignition system?
Make sure the spark plugs work.
Well, I'm going to have you take them out. So we're going to take them out.
I swear I've seen them, but I can't find them.
There are those hoses right down here. These hoses go right down and into the spark plugs.
I haven't seen them yet then.
We're going to have to go ahead and get this stuff set up and start pulling those out, all right?
All right. Let's fix the engine.
Do we need to fix it or get it running?
Maybe both.
All right, sir. We're going to start by pulling out the spark plugs.
Okay,
it's dirty. You might want to wear some gloves. Unless you just want to get dirty. You get some dirt under your fingernails here.
No, too far. We're not that far into the game yet.
We'll get you there. In time. Yeah. In time. Now, these are your spark plug wires.
Okay.
They come from the distributor, which we're going to worry about that later. Today, we only want to get the spark plugs out, but we got to take the spark plug wires off first. These all have a very specific order. They call it the firing order of the engine. So we want to be sure that we always take this and we make sure that this one gets put back onto this one front spark plug here, not back here. Otherwise, the engine's not going to run. Okay. You can go a little harder. Good job. And then let's stick that over here. So that way, see, they're all in order. I like it. All right. You might want to use the flexing part of this ratchet, but you're going to go ahead and put those onto the spark plugs. And go ahead and we're going to zip out number 2. And I'm going to grab a Sharpie real quick. I'll be right back.
I need assistance putting this on.
Okay. Is it because you can't see it?
So I said I don't know how.
Okay, so you just kind of slide it down over it.
Okay.
And then, there you go, it's on. You're gonna have to push a little hard. Yep, hard. Keep going. There you go. That one was in there pretty good. It might be easier if you use the socket without the ratchet and twist.
I got it.
Oh, you got it. And oof, look how black that is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
Out?
It's not burnt out. That's a bunch of carbon buildup. So either these are really, really old and neglected, or the engine burns oil. Go ahead and get the other 3 out on that side.
It's just a little tight, you know.
You slide your hand down a little. There you go. The way these plugs are looking, Trevor, I don't think that this car would have ran with them the way they are. So we're going to have to either replace them, but I also do have a tool that I can show you on how we can clean these up.
All right. This is number 2.
No, that's number 4.
Oh.
And number 4 is not nearly as bad as number 2. See the difference of how plugged all that is? But this is still terrible.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
It's
almost.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it. How's that one look?
Not very good.
Not very good. Yep, that doesn't look very good at all. So,
yeah.
My suggestion would be to take the ratchet off so it's a little bit more vertical up and down, because you're kind of like in a lifting motion, and it'll be easier to make it so it's more of a pushing motion. And then before you put it, yep, there you go. Do that, and then there you go. Now you can get more weight into it. There you go. There. See? Nice.
Not as bad as 2.
That one's actually really, that's pretty bad. See, like,
Oh,
you
wow.
should be able to see all the way around. That center part in there is porcelain, and it should be white. And there should be a gap all the way around.
Oh, wow.
I think this thing might be a smoker if it does run.
Mm.
All right, halfway done.
I'm only seeing 2.
So, yeah, so you can see number 5 and 7 here. Scooch back for a second. This is your AC compressor for the AC, and that's in the way. But if you actually look underneath and down,
Oh, wow.
you can see number 1 and number 3. They're going to be a lot harder to keep track of the right wires, and it's going to be harder to get those spark plugs out because you have this big AC compressor.
Could you do it?
You don't want to try? I think you should try. I'll pull the boots off for you. How's that? But I think you need to try to do the spark plugs, okay? Just because they're hard doesn't mean you can't do it. Now, get in there. See if you can get those spark plugs out. No, you're going to have to come in underneath the AC compressor.
That's like...
Huh? It's not that bad. It looks worse than it is. Here. You can just slide this in there. Actually come down like this. There you go. See? And now you just pull up. But see, even though you don't have that much space, it's not as bad as it looks, huh? Ooh, got it.
And? Those doesn't look too bad. Well, considering how bad they all are.
They all look pretty bad.
Out of all of them, it doesn't look too bad.
Now be careful when you're pulling really hard, because when it breaks free, you don't want to smash your hand.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Which one was that out of? Do you remember?
8. No. 6.
Even numbers are on the passenger side, odd numbers are on the driver's side.
7.
7?
No. 5.
Whoa, you're running out of numbers. You're going to hit it here soon enough.
3.
3.
You want to do it?
Put your hand on there. I want you to feel it too. There you go. You're doing a really good job getting these things whipped out of there.
Thank you.
By the time you're done with this car, you're going to be sick and tired of pulling spark plugs out of it.
Yeah, I already am.
You already are? But do you know you're putting them back in tomorrow, right? Yeah. Looks like I'm your tool caddy, aren't I?
Yep.
All right, let's see how it's going to be. Happy to do it for you. I'll take that. Here's your tool, sir.
Thank you.
And yet another crummy looking spark plug. You can get it. You can get it. Get it. Get it. Ah!
Ow.
Got it. Oh.
I found it.
Can you get it?
Oh, yeah.
What's your game plan here?
The old school route.
What's that?
Grab it with your feet.
Nice work.
It almost dropped, but I caught it.
Ooh, nice. Let's see.
Horrible.
All right, so we pulled the spark plugs out so we could get a look at them, and we can see that they're terrible.
Yep.
But also, when the spark plugs are in, that's what helps create compression. And woo! And compression is the air part of the 3 things an engine needs to run.
I may
And
have done something.
it's okay. It's going to be easier to crank the engine over now and see if it rotates with those out, because if it doesn't spin over, we have bigger problems. So this is the crankshaft pulley.
I can't see it.
Right here, right here.
Oh, yep, I see it.
And I got a bolt on the center of it,
Yep, I see it.
the ratchet.
Yep.
And we're gonna, there we go. Look at that. A little tight. To see the engine rotates over. The last thing we're gonna do for today, Trevor, we're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and squirt some oil into the spark plug holes into the cylinders to get it lubricated. So we're gonna clean up for tonight. Well, we're gonna get the oil in, clean up for tonight. We'll be back out here tomorrow.
Huh?
All right.
Fun. This is fun.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and give this a little bit of squirts, and all I'm putting in here is actually transmission fluid.
That looks like a coffee pot.
A little bit, huh?
Yep.
So we just gotta reach in there find our hole. A couple squirts. And we just want to get some oil up in there because it hasn't run for so long. It'll help get the rings have some oil on it, so when we first fire it up, that they don't have to be run or ran dry. There we go. So those ones are done. 2 more. All right. So they're oiled up. We're gonna let that sit in and soak overnight. Tomorrow, back out here, tackle the spark plugs, see what we got.
Okie dokie,
All right, let's go get some dinner. All right, sir. Last night we got the spark plugs pulled out and we put a little oil in the cylinders. Remember how I was telling you how bad these spark plugs looked?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all black and sooted up. Today I fished out a used spark plug, but this one looks like what they should. So I can show you here. So if you look there, look on the end. See how you can actually see the white and it's not all full of gunk? That's how a spark plug should look. Look at your spark plugs in comparison. How black they are.
It's amazing.
So what happens is it's either running too rich, and by too rich that means it's either too much fuel that's getting into the engine, which is a carburetor issue, or it's burning oil. We won't know until we get it running. But with them this fouled out, it's going to be really, really hard to try to get the car to start and run. We need them to look like this. So rather than buy new spark plugs, we're going to revive these, okay? We have a very old school method here of a spark plug cleaner. So essentially what's in here is there's crushed glass. We're going to use compressed air. I'm going to put the spark plugs into the front and we're going to blast it. And they're going to come out looking like that.
Okay.
All right? So let me get this hooked up. I'm going to need you to film it while I run the first one. So you go ahead and grab that. And we're going to get this hooked up and see if we can get a clean spark plug. And then you just put the dirty part in there. Move it around. Look at that. Yeah, if you look, it's still dirty down the crevices, so I think we need to go a little bit longer, okay? Pop it out. There we go. And I think that's good enough. So this isn't going to help if the spark plugs are worn out, but if they're fouled out, which these are, that's going to help clean them up. So we need to go ahead and get the rest of these cleaned, and then I'm also probably just going to hit them with a wire wheel on the bench grinder and clean up here where the socket goes on, and then we can jam these back into the car. Do you want to give this a shot?
Sure. So.
Yep, push that button. It's a little hard to push, but push it, hold it down. Now yep, all the way, and push the spark plug. Push that button more. There you go. And Charles.
Want to take it out?
Yep, take it out and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, 6 more.
So I just insert it like that?
Yep, and just kind of twist it in. There you go, perfect.
That's good?
Yep, that's good. Oh, that one needs a lot more.
How's that look?
More, a lot more. So here's Trevor's handiwork here. He got all 8 of those spark plugs cleaned. What we did do that wasn't on camera is we did take compressed air and blew out any of that extra abrasive that gets in between the porcelain and the body. And we also just double checked the gaps on them to make sure they're fine. You got your plugs, don't drop them. We cleaned them up, so we lost our number marking on them, and we did yesterday, Trevor, but it doesn't matter. They can just go into any hole. Before you get started putting them in, here's my game plan, all right?
All right.
I'm thinking you can start putting the spark plugs in on bank 2 on the passenger side. while you're reinstalling those spark plugs, I'm going to jump over here to the distributor. I need to hook up the coil and get all that stuff hooked back up. And then I'm hoping by the time you're done, I will be done with the coil and I can get out of your way because I'll be working on this side, all right?
Okay.
Before you start on those spark plugs, Trevor, this is the ignition coil, which I have to hook up.
Okay.
And you can see that I need to hook up both the positive and negative wire to it and the wire off the distributor, which is pretty easy. My positive wire is right here, and I need to fish the negative wire out from the distributor down. It's actually right here. So I just need to hook those up. I'm going to repair this condenser wire, get the negative hooked up. Positive, just set that in there while you're on the other side getting those spark plugs put in, okay?
Okay.
So let's grab some tools. And I think,
I don't need the extension, I don't think.
well, we'll have it here just in case you need it.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and get started on that, and I'm going to start on fixing that condenser wire, okay?
I think it's locked.
Yep, it's locked.
So how does it...
It's flights like that. You got to go down, then over.
Down over,
Yep.
okay.
And it just kind of bumps it. When you start the spark plugs, start them by hand with the socket like this. Don't use the ratchet.
Okay.
Okay, I cleaned the threads, so they should spin into the cylinder head nice and easy.
Okay.
Okay?
So I just start like this? Oh, I spin it in.
Yeah, spin it with your hand.
Okay.
And then once they get going, then put the
How do I know
ratchet on.
How do I know when it got going?
You'll know it. You'll feel it. They won't wiggle. They won't fall out. Get them in as far as you can with your hand before you use the ratchet.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't know where it goes. Oh. It's hard to see.
It's hard to see. Well,
I don't know where it goes.
you can put your gloves on, then you can use your hand and hunt around down there and find the hole. So your gloves from yesterday.
Okay.
And if you look with the flashlight, do you see the hole right there?
Yeah, I saw that one. I can't find the other one.
There are
though.
ones right here, right underneath. Okay? So you have to use your hand a little bit. Use the flashlight if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay? Whew. All right. I'm just going to cut that clean. You get it in there?
I think so.
All right, condenser wire is fixed.
How do I know if it's in all the way?
Well, you'll be able to stop twisting it with your hand. Yep, then you snug it with the ratchet. You don't have to be super tight, so you can,
So I can put the ratchet back on now?
yep. Put the ratchet on it and then just give it a little snug. It doesn't have to be as tight as they were when we took them out. Yep, there you go.
So I just go like that?
Let's feel. Yep, perfect. Good job. 3 more. Getting it in there?
I think so.
Good.
No.
No?
No, I don't know if I'm in... I don't understand. This one is weird.
It's hard to see. You got to go by feel.
Well, like, this one's... I don't understand this one, Dad.
Okay, give me a second here and I'll jump over. All right, let's see what you got.
I kept trying to spin it, but it wouldn't go in.
There you go. Now it's started. There you go. 1 ignition coil installed. I'll go ahead and get these started for you. If you'll allow me.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this good?
Let's take a feel. Yep, good job. So 2 more, and then you just gotta tighten up the other side. I got them all in for you. Okay? Aw, shoot.
What? What?
You're gonna kill me.
What?
I just realized we were gonna crank it over at the spark plugs out to get the oil out of the cylinders, so we need to take those ones out real quick. I'm gonna put the battery in, and we're gonna crank the engine over and make sure we have spark and spin it with the key, and that's gonna get the pistons to move and push that oil out, and I don't want that oil on the spark plugs after we cleaned them. So, sorry, man.
I'm only taking these ones out.
I'll help you get them back in. Got ahead of ourselves there.
You got ahead of yourself.
Sorry. I'm excited. Do you want to hear this thing run?
Yeah, but there's some things we need to do.
I know. I know.
Well, already like broke it free from the thing.
Yeah. There you go. And then spin the other one. Yep. 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 Am I in your way?
You might be.
Oh, got it.
This one's ready.
You can take that one out. That's the last one. See, it wasn't that big of a deal. All right, sir. We got the spark plugs out. I definitely got ahead of ourselves.
Yep.
We need to go ahead and stick a battery in here.
Okay.
We're going to use the old boat battery. This thing is dated 1 of 2013. So that's very old for a battery. We're going to see how good this Optima does. But we have to change this terminal because this is for a side post and we only have top posts. Our negative terminal is correct. Now, I know this is the negative because see, it goes all the way down here to the bracket for the alternator.
Yeah.
That's considered ground. Also, it goes to the body of the car. So the negative is always, or should always be, a black cable, and that's the ground cable, which goes to the negative on the battery.
Yeah.
The positive should be red. This one is not. It's black also. You hook them up backwards, you get a lot of sparks, potentially fire, very bad thing. This one I looked and I can see it goes down to the starter, which is where the positive cable goes. So I know that's the right one. So I need to loosen these bolts. I snagged you a terminal end off of my truck.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to buy one because I don't think I'll be driving the truck anytime soon. See the difference of the terminals?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen this and zip it off real quick. I think real quick. There we go. And stick the new one on. Now, when you go to hook up a battery, you always start with the positive cable first.
Okay.
You don't do the negative.
Why?
Because there's less chance of arcing. But for what we're doing, we can just set them on right now. We don't even need to tighten them. There you go. Just turn the key partially on. Let's see what we have. It's right there.
That's lights.
I know, but do they work?
What did you see?
Anything?
Music?
Let's see if these lights. Do we even have an electrical system? No lights.
Washer wipers don't work.
That's clicking.
Oh,
They're working. Let's leave those off.
oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, they work.
Yeah, we just don't want to scratch the windshield. All right, let's see if this thing will spin over. Woo-wee! All right, Trevor.
What?
Here, twist that key. Oh, no, forward more. More.
Like this?
Twist, yep, twist it. More. Go around the steering wheel. Yep. That's kind of tight. Wow. There you go. Just hold it there for a second. Hold it there. All right. Hop out for a sec. We need to see if we have spark out of one of these spark plugs. So we'll just jam this on there. All right, go ahead and do that again. All right,
Do we have spark?
No spark.
What does that mean?
That means we have to look into the distributor and we need to take a look at the points. Wah, wah, wah. See if the points are opening or closing. It cranked though, and we were able to crank it and get the oil out of the cylinders and roll around in the cylinders and got some oil moving in the engine. So let's go ahead and stuff the spark plugs back in. We can hook up the spark plug wires, and then once the wires are all hooked up, we can pop the distributor cap off, take a look at the points. All right, Trevor, good news, bad news. Good news, we're making progress. Bad news is we have no spark. So we got to diagnose that now. We haven't even pulled the distributor cap off yet. This no spark issue, I was optimistic it was going to work, but the coil was unhooked, so there's probably a reason why it was unhooked, and this could be why the car is parked. We need to get the distributor cap off to take a look at the points. So there's just two little clips that you push down and twist, and it will pop them free. I can move this coil temporarily out of the way here. So, pop that off, and there we go. So, you take a look in there. Everything looks pretty decent, not terribly worn. So, that's not likely the problem, but is what we want to check is this right here. Can you see close? This is called our points, and we want to make sure that those are opening and closing when we crank the engine over, okay?
Okay.
So you go ahead and keep the camera there. Watch that junction right there and tell me if they open and close. You ready?
Mm-hmm. It's spinning.
Yep. Were they opening and closing?
What?
Right here?
Okay, go again.
That?
I don't think so, but let's see again. No. Looks like they're just like bouncing because it was like moving so much.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
Like it moves fast, very fast. You go ahead and see if you can crank it. I'll take a peek at what our points are doing here.
So, start it?
Yes.
Just tell me when to start it, okay?
Ready?
Okay. Here you go.
Hit it. Okay. So your points are moving. We're going to use our multimeter here. You want to throw that on the negative terminal of the battery?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, well, we got 12 volts there. Good to know. When I touched that, the points, it started the arc, which means I was having current go through it. I got 12 volts at the coil, so let's do a quick coil swap and see what we have for spark. Lucky for you, we have another coil laying around that we can get installed.
Is this one of your Ferrari ones?
Nope, this one is off of the jet boat. Right. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Does it not fit?
Oh, it will. It's not ideal. All right. With that, why don't you go in there and crank her over, and I'll see if we have any spark.
Okay.
Okay. All right, try it again. Okay. Let me try one more thing. All right, hit it again.
Huh? Hit it again?
Yes. Okay.
Tasty drink you got there.
That's fuel. All right, Trevor, with a little bit of fussing, we swapped the coil. I scrubbed the points down. Turns out that we have a little bit of spark. It's not a lot, which it's points, so I don't expect a lot of spark, but we got some. So we're gonna go ahead, shoot some fuel into the carb. I'll do this for you. And then we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this to fire off, okay?
Okay.
So since we don't have the fuel pump hooked up in the fuel tank, we're just gonna fill this up through the vent.
Okay. I'll get ready to crank it.
Yep, and you're gonna be in there and crank. All right, sir. Hit it when you're ready. Let go of the key. Let go of the key. Once it starts to run, let go of the key, okay?
Okay.
Forgot to tell you that. All right, hold on. Seems that we got good spark.
I can smell it.
Yeah, once you hear it start to fire, let off the key. If it doesn't fire, then we'll start again, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let her rip. Oh, man. She's a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice smoke cloud going there, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm gonna get this carb filled up a little bit more, and we'll see how long we can get the run for.
Okay.
We know we don't have a ton of oil in it. We got enough, but right now we got enough to let her run. She idled pretty good. Let's get this topped all the way off. All right, let her rip, Trevor.
All right.
Let go. Yep. Woo, look at that. And she's done. Trevor, you got yourself a runner. You know what that means?
Less work.
More work. Same amount of work. It means it's worth the time and effort to go through. We need to whip out an oil change. We need to go through and give her a tune-up. We probably need to rebuild the carburetor. You got all kinds of stuff to do. All right?
Right.
All
Is
right.
that all we're doing today?
Huh?
Is that all we're doing today?
For now, yeah, because we don't have any parts to do the oil change.
Okay.
All right, Trevor, before we continue on, you can see down there on the ground, we've got some oil filter. We're gonna go ahead, drain out this old oil, and get in the new oil, okay?
Okay.
All right, man, no, come around to the other side. You're probably gonna need to be right where I am. All right, you're gonna have to get up close. Here's your drain plug on the oil pan right here, all right? Put that wrench on the drain plug. Flip it around the other way. No, sorry. See how, yeah, get it on there. Oh. Now, if you do it like that, you're not gonna be able to do it very easily.
Okay.
You have no leverage. So put it on like right there, like so. Okay? And you're gonna push it towards the back of the car. Push. Get in there. Give it a push. Ooh, wow. All right, let me. Ooh. Who was the last guy? Ugh. We need a bigger tool.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Lost what?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh.
It should not be that tight. There we go. All right, so it's loose. Be careful, go slow, because when this plug comes out, oil's gonna shoot out.
Oh, okay.
I usually would spin them like from this, from the top, so when the oil shoots out, it doesn't get on my hand. You're on the bottom. So try to spin it from the top.
Like that?
Well, that's not the top. How is it?
This is the top, right?
Yeah. There you go. That's gonna work good. And the key is, you see I have the bucket way over here because it's gonna come like way this way. So you don't want to overshoot the bucket and make a huge mess on the ground. Oh, it's close. It's close. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, nice. Nice job. And you kept the drain plug. Pro move. Set the drain plug up here. That's a pro move there, son. Normally you throw it into the big pile of oil and then you have to fish around looking for the drain plug. Look, there you go. You can wipe your glove off. So we're going to go ahead and let that drain right now, okay? It's going to take a little bit. And then once it's done draining, we're going to pop that oil filter off.
Okay.
All right, sir. While we're letting our oil drain, we're going to hook this fuel hose up to the inlet of the fuel pump down here. You see it down there, that hose is off?
Yeah.
Yep. And then this is going to let us run it to a gas can because the gas tank, it's sat for so long, it gets full of rust, and it's going to plug the carburetor, and we don't want to run the car on that. So we're just going to bypass it all and hook this hose up, all right? And reach down. And I just have a hose clamp on there. Fortunately, you don't have to take the old one off. Just slide on the new one.
You get it?
I put the hose clamp on in a direction that was very hard to tighten. So I pulled it off to flip it around the other direction. And it should make it easier for me to tighten the hose clamp. All right. It's good for now. With that being done, we gotta let the oil finish draining. We'll put the drain plug back in.
Done.
It might drip. Oh, yep, it's good. We need to put the drain plug back in.
Okay.
And then we'll have to replace the oil filter. All right, Trevor, so we got to get this oil filter off, and they're usually fairly tight. You usually can just grab them with your hand and spin them off, but obviously you can see this one's soaked in oil, so depending on how tight the last guy put it on, oh, this one's not too bad. You just like that, loosen it. Sometimes you have to grab some big pliers and really go after it to get them off. And this will leak oil, and they make a mess. There it goes. So I'll usually just let that drain the oil for a little bit until it pretty much stops, and I'll come back and finish it up. That way I don't make a big messy oil and get oil running all down my arms. If you're in a hurry, you can just whip it off real quick. All right, Trevor, I think that's about as good as it's going to get for us here. So we're going to see if I can spin this off the rest of the way. There we go. Now, one thing to always check right here. I can't get it out. We'll show you on the new one. There's an O-ring right there. Always make sure it's with your old filter. And then always make sure there's not one stuck up there. Sometimes the ones on the filter get stuck on the filter on the engine. And then when you put the new one on, those two O-rings don't seal and it'll shoot oil everywhere. So always make sure that you pulled your O-ring off, okay?
Okay.
All right, Trevor. So what I wanted to show you with the new filter is this. Well, first of all, here's that O-ring I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
So we made sure the other one's still in the old filter, and we made sure there's not one on the engine. But before you put in your new filter, especially on this small block Chevy, where you go straight up, I like to fill it with oil as much as I can, and that way when you first start the car, there's less time the engine runs without oil in it. It takes a little bit to fill up with oil. You don't have to do it, but if you don't, there's a split second where you don't have any oil pressure. So usually I'll do this ahead of time when I'm letting my oil filter and oil drain, and I'll come back out and be filling this up. Just fill her up like so. It does make it a little trickier to get the oil filter on because it's full of oil, but I'd rather have the protection when I first start the engine. So now it's full, but it's going to soak into the filter, and we'll top it off a couple times. Once it's completely full, we'll go ahead and jam her back on. One more thing, Trevor, when you go to put this oil filter on, take some oil on your finger and pre-lube that seal right there, okay?
Okay.
So that way it slips on and doesn't get caught up. Old oil filter's out, new oil filter's on. You need the jammer full of oil. Right by your dipstick, you see that cap that conveniently says oil?
Yep.
Go ahead and pop that off. Just pull. There you go. Yeah, it's like most things on this car, it's in rough shape. How's it look inside that engine? Not too bad. Can't see that well with this
Should I
lighting.
check the dipstick again?
Not right now, because we know there's no oil in it. So what I need you to do is grab that red funnel over there. And you're going to go ahead and put that in that hole. There you go. Now grab our big jug of oil.
What?
Yep. And you're not going to pour all of it in. Okay? If we pour all of this in, that's too much.
I don't know.
Pour half of it and then we'll check. Okay?
Can you just tell me when to stop?
Well, you can pour a guess on half the bottle. Oh, be careful there. Ambitious shot. Oh man, you're really just teasing me with spilling it there. Making me anxious. Now pull the bottle out. Now look on the back of the bottle by the handle. That tells you how much. This bottle had 5.5 quarts in it, so you're down to 3.5. So you put 1.5 quarts in there.
So like down to 3?
Yeah, because this is 4.5. I'd take it down to like, let's take it down to 2, and then we'll recheck the dipstick.
Right.
Chug, lug, 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 lug. Where you at?
Almost there, like 2.5.
All right, keep going. All right, let's check your dipstick.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Okay, you gotta sit the bottle down, check your dipstick, and we might have to add more, okay?
Alright.
There you go. Remember, wipe it off, then stick it back in, down at the bottom. And then stick it back in and read it. Now, it's gonna take a little bit for the oil to settle down to the bottom of the engine, but this will give us an idea if we're like close or a long ways away from being too full, or not full enough.
Do I wipe it again?
Nope, you just need to check the end. And we're not even on the dipstick yet. So we can probably put in at least 1 more quart of oil. Alright?
Alright.
And we're just going to keep doing this process till we have the right amount of oil in.
I'm at like a little bit above 1.5.
Okay, well then let's check the dipstick again. What you got?
I can't tell.
It's just a little bit below the add, so you want it in between those 2 lines. So we're a little bit better. We need it up there.
Okay.
So let's put a little bit more in.
Let's try that. We're at like 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about halfway. We're good.
Yeah, we are. Perfect. Very nice. Your first oil change. Terrible. Terrible. Look at the elbow. The glove's not the problem. You gotta look at the elbow. Very nice. All right.
Told you the glove was the problem.
The glove wasn't the problem.
The glove was the problem.
Let's get some water in here. Okay? There should be antifreeze, but we don't know if this leaks or not, so we're just gonna fill it with some water.
All right.
Into the radiator. You see right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So let's go ahead and grab the hose. And do you want to slowly, slowly turn on the water for me? A little more. Okay, slow it down. All right, man. We're going to use this as our fuel tank. And we're going to run our fuel hose in there. I'm going to give us enough slack on this hose, so if we want to, we can install our fuel tank into the car. Would you mind reaching through and unlocking this door for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Snip that. You can shut that door for now. I was just using that to measure the length. We're gonna go like so. We're hoping your fuel pump's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping once we start it off the bottle, it's gonna run long enough off the fuel in the carburetor to make the fuel pump start pumping, to suck fuel into the tank, and then hopefully it'll keep running. Okay? All right, Trevor, real quick. I'm gonna take some of this fuel and run it down this hose so it gets to the other side of the fuel pump.
Okay.
And hopefully that kind of helps it siphon better. We need to get our battery cable reconnected. Right here. Oh, hold on for a sec. So see how these bolts are upside down?
Mm-hmm.
Battery cable is actually, these posts are tapered. So, and it doesn't want to fit on very well. So if we flip it back the other way, see how it fits on?
Mm.
They go on one way. All right. We'll fill the carburetor back up. And when I tell you, you can go ahead and fire off the car.
Huh?
Remember this time, once it starts to run,
Oh,
let go of the key.
what happens if I don't?
It's really, really hard on the starter.
Oh.
So we fired it off the other day, but this is a true cold start, so we'll see if you crank the key if she wants to fire right up.
Okay.
All right?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let go. Okay, do it again. Hood came down on me there. Hold on 1 second. I just realized something. We have an open vacuum port I need to fix. Since I have the air cleaner lid off, the vacuum port for the distributor, the vacuum advance, is open.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Guess that's
Not anymore.
bad thing.
All right, go for it. Again. Again.
Come on. I don't think it wants to go. Here, let me try again. Oh, there you go.
Well, I'll be. Your fuel pump's working.
Mom.
So, once it fired up, I could see all the fuel up into the filter right there. So now that we have water in the radiator, we know I have oil, we can just... That's great.
What was that?
I was going to say we were just going to let it run, but that was it, I think, telling us it's not happy.
What was that?
I have no idea. Let me set this down. Let me see. I'll fire it up so I can run the throttle here too. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Running fairly smooth. Alright, we're just going to let it run and come up to temperature. And woo! What do you think on a smoke cloud? Nice. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and let this run, come up to temp, and see how she likes it.
Oh, run! Yahoo! Yahoo! Ah, Mickey Mouse! You Bob! Bob!
Nope.
Back up, radio right.
La, la, la. Oh, look at this car. It's running again. Ba, la, la. Aren't you so happy, Squidward? Now let's run again. We can hop in and drive it away. Ba, la, 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 la. So, you know, we decided to fix the carburetor, and then, Get some fuel in there. Just kidding, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Running pretty smooth. Not bad for being dormant for so long.
Yeah.
So a lot of that smoke coming off there is from the oil we put into the cylinders.
Seems to be quieting down.
Yeah, it's getting warm. It idled down. The idle's nice. Smoky. Whew. You got a nice jiggle there in your fender. Runs pretty good.
Yeah.
Whew. Whew. All right, Trevor. Here's the deal. Car's got no lights. It's getting dark. It's a school night. We're running off a gas jug. We can barely see through the windshield. I'm gonna do the right thing. We're gonna lean into it. We're gonna hop in it and see if we can go for a test drive. See if the brakes work. See if the transmission shifts. You look very concerned.
Should we at least wipe down the windshield?
Nope, I got a hole I can see through. We're not going far. We're good. All right?
Are you please be joking?
Nope. We're gonna have fun.
We have to, no. I'm only going to allow this if we clean that windshield.
Look, there's an acceptable patch
no.
right there. All right, guys, we're gonna settle this. Hopefully we'll see you in a sec because we don't have much time. The sun's dropping, so.
This is a good idea. Just clean the windshield,
Nope.
please.
All right, we'll be back. All right, let's see if we have. Ooh. Our plans are foiled, son.
Why?
You have 5 neutrals.
What does that mean?
That means you have neutral.
What does that mean?
This transmission has park, reverse, neutral, third gear, second gear, first gear. It's how it comes from the factory. Your transmission has park, neutral, 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 neutral. You don't have any gears.
Why not?
It's broken. You're just rolling backwards. No test drive tonight, man.
How are we gonna fix it?
Well,
Within a not long, inexpensive time being.
you're gonna learn how to rebuild a transmission, it looks like, sooner than we thought. Looking at all the gears, I got park. I'm in reverse right now. It's going drive. We're in drive. We're just rolling backwards. Nothing. I push the gas. Nothing. So your engine runs great, but we got no transmissionage. Done deal. What a kick in the pants. All right, Trevor. I think we found out why this car was parked for 24 years. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, having the, reverse neutral, third gear neutral, second gear neutral, first gear neutral, the neutral. So we had 5 neutrals.
More money
More money. Well,
to spend.
that's not good.
Yeah.
We don't want to spend a bunch more money on the car. But, as I mentioned earlier, I have a transmission rebuild kit for a Turbo 350 that was for my truck. I don't even have an engine in that right now. The transmission's out of it, so we can just snag that kit. We'll yard out your transmission and get it rebuilt. So it's not a big deal. We can get it taken care of. I'm not going to lie, I was really excited to take Trevor for a drive tonight. I did earlier tickle the brakes. I know that we kind of have some brakes. Not much, but it would have been enough to get around the block a little bit and create some memories, but we kind of got shot down on that tonight. But we didn't. It wasn't for lack of effort, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, I think the next thing we're going to do the Chevelle, Trevor, what are we going to do to it?
Wash it.
We're going to wash it. He wants to get the patina off, so he's going to learn the beauty of the old Comet wash, and we're going to scrub this thing down. I myself am very excited. I can't wait to see what this thing's going to look like when it's all cleaned up. It's going to be a huge difference. So stay tuned to the channel, guys. Keep an eye out for that video. You definitely don't want to miss it. Trevor, outro's on you. Don't buckle under the pressure.
What do I say?
Whatever you want to say. You look at the camera and say whatever you want.
See you next time on AutoTech Trevor. And please like and subscribe. It would help us.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it. Good job.